Game 3 just finished a few hours ago. And wow, Mavs are up 3-0 now, and the series is pretty much over. The Wolves looked invincible coming into the series. I had them in 7. I just didn't feel good picking against Anthony Edwards, but the landscapes around him and this team has changed completely over the past few games. So let's talk about it. First half, Derrick Jones Jr. playing pretty well. Derek Lively was really, they had like a mic'd up and he was talking and he was just being a good team player. Unfortunately, he got hurt. They said it was a neck strain, I think, but it looked like a concussion to me, so I don't know what that's going to look like for him. But it's so huge that they won Game 3 because Game 4, if it was 2-1 and now they don't have a key player. So it was just a big win in so many different ways. But Luka's jump shooting, catch and shoot, he was making a lot of those, which he hadn't really made efficiently. His catch and shoots, he usually likes to take a dribble, but he played really well today. So did Kyrie. Both had 33. And the role players just shot better in the first half. So they got that 10-point lead. But Minnesota in the third quarter, I think, showed what we knew they could be all series. But again, it was only the third quarter. And it's really hard for Ant to provide for his team when he catches the ball 30 feet out. And it's a lot of veer dribbles into screen and rolls. And he tried to hit Rudy one time, I think in the third, when it was a bounce pass. He does not hit Rudy on the short roll, which is fine, I guess, but he's very religiously does not hit Rudy on the short roll. And tonight he did once and it was a turnover. But kind of he was in the first and the third, he was attacking pretty well, pretty efficiently. He started with 10 pretty quickly out. But Cat today was just abysmal. You can't win games when he has 1 at half. Just his shot selection. Guys on the inside the NBA, they're very archaic in their views of big men and shooting threes. But today I kind of agree with them. I think that Cat shot too many threes, and the three near the end of the game was just a bad shot. I was looking at my TV just cringing because it's you shot 0 for 7, you're not gonna make one now. Well, of course, if he made one, it's a different story, though, so I can't get too much on him, but still, that's just kind of crazy. And Kyle Anderson gave them good minutes. I was kind of shaky on Kyle Anderson minutes throughout the series on what he would bring to them, seeing him when he wasn't really playing a lot in Denver. But he played pretty well. Naz Reid played pretty well. But I guess the issue for this team is their crunch time offense. Going in, the Mavs played really, really, really good defense throughout the entire series. How they cover screens, how they attack Anthony Edwards and playing in the gaps. It's been really effective. And he just got downhill in the third quarter, but for the rest of the game, he had 4 points in the fourth. He wasn't really attacking because the Mavs, they played the picks really well. But Minnesota in their offense, when Ant is not firing on all cylinders, they're pretty much cooked. You have Gobert out there who's kind of an offensive zero. He got hit on the late roll a few times, got a few putback dunks here and there, but in the short roll when you're not effective, it's really over, and he's not really gives anything to the offense. Naz Reid played pretty well again. Naz Reid has been the MVP for them this series if they were to win, but it's 3-0 now. But Naz Reid's been playing really well as an energy guy. But overall, the third quarter kind of showed Cat was getting some energy buckets in the third quarter, and they got back. But the fourth quarter, I guess, is the story of the game. Their crunch time offense. They were 27th, I think, during the regular season in crunch time, clutch offense. And Ant and his decision making has been kind of a big thing throughout the entire playoffs. And he's very strong in the first 2 rounds, even when he was shooting bad, in Game 7. But today, again, I just think that he needs to get downhill, and when he brings the ball up the court, he gets tired and he's playing really slow. And I just don't see him with the same punch that he had in the first 2 rounds when he can't really score on the break. And that's just the story of the series. He's been kind of slowed down, and Derrick Jones Jr. has been guarding him pretty well on the switches. Kyrie had a good possession on him on defense in the Game 3. So, overall, the Wolves' offense was just abysmal. Kyle Anderson was the guy. Cat can make a shot, and you're not going to win games like that. But the defense, I think, is the bigger kind of question. How do you guard Luka and Kyrie? They both had 33 tonight. How do you guard them near the end of the game? And the answer is just pray. But the more realistic answer is probably just double. They don't they try to double a few times. They sprinkle it, and it worked in the third quarter, showing them zone, showing them hedging off the screen, showing Rudy jumping at the screen. But dude, you need to consistently double, because when you don't and you get a switch or he's fighting, like Jamie Daniels has to fight off a screen, he's on his hip now. It's over. It's literally over every single time. You might as well just quit and walk out the arena because there's no chance. As we've seen in the first 3 games, there has to be some sort of adjustment. We are going to be consistently doubling. I think in Game 4, what we're going to see is a consistent double from the Wolves. It's a little too late, but man, because what happens is you can't really win regardless though. When you double Kyrie, he finds a shooter. When you hedge, he goes around the guy hedging, and there's a floater or a layup to be had. When you switch, now you got Gobert on Kyrie. I mean, there was even one possession where Jaden Hardy drew a foul on Gobert, and Jaden Hardy was about to pass to Luka at the top of the key, and Luka was like, "Nah, go at him." And the disrespect shown to Rudy Gobert is crazy. And I think a lot of the conversations we have about Rudy Gobert and his 4 defensive player of the years really disingenuous from a lot of people who just don't like his play style on defense. But we could be lying to ourselves if we said that he's been kind of getting a little bit targeted in the series, and he's getting cooked a little bit. But overall, just crunch time. And seeing now that we know it's pretty much going to be Boston, Indiana. I would have made a video on Indiana-Boston game 3, but I didn't really watch it. Near the end, it was crazy hoops, though. Shout out Andrew Nemhard. But overall, Boston-Dallas is going to be a really good series. But, man, Luka and Kyrie fade away near the end of the game to kind of seal it. And then Luka, his catch and shoots, his deep threes, you can't guard that. So I'm really interested to see how Boston will be able to play them. But for the Timberwolves, man, I mean, I'll probably talk about what's next for them when they officially lose. But dang, man, overall it's a great game. Luka and Kyrie, best backcourt ever. I don't know about all that, but they've been playing really well. So, man, Game 4, it'll be a fun game to watch.